Alright then guys, I think this is mailbag number 3. I don't really do this segment too often because I don't really get stuff in the mail all that often. And when I do, it's usually not a whole lot of stuff. But anyway, I've got a decent bit of stuff, and I apologize. I already did take some of it out before I thought to do the video. But anyhow, hopefully that was actually kept through. There we go. I already know what this is. There's only one thing in the package. But anyhow, this is a reel of wire. Yeah, not very exciting. This is 18-2 zip wire, as it was called. I have a project for this though, and I've got some more parts in a different box for said project, so we'll get to that in a minute. So here is box number 2. It came in today. So I'm opening these upside down, by the way, because I'm just too lazy to block out the shipping address. So opening them from the bottom, and there's actually less packaging material to dig through too, so works out reasonably well. And hopefully I got the camera shot high enough to the point where I can show everything. Well, I don't need to show it all at once, but anyhow. These are butt connectors, which go with the project the wire goes with. This is something. Aha, this also goes with that same project. This is one of these little remote relay box sort of things. And there should be, not sure what else goes with that project actually. Okay, now this is something interesting. I think a lot of the people that are subscribed to this channel are subscribed because of the lithium-ion battery box project. And that's something I did quite a while ago, and one thing that I kept getting asked about is how I charge it, and I actually did put out a video on that, but I use a hobby sort of RC balance charger. A lot of people have asked about BMS boards. So I finally got, I actually bought 2 BMS boards. I bought this one, and then I bought another one which is coming straight out of China, so it won't be here for a while. But anyway, this is like a 30 amp 3S battery management system board. So we're going to be doing some tests on this, and we're going to see how well this works compared to some of the other, well, I guess the way that I charge it anyway. So next up, we have a new pair of fancy wire strippers. So anyway, this, I kind of gotten inspired to buy some new wire strippers. I was actually looking for wire crimpers because the ones that I have just are not very good. Hopefully these are a bit better. Obviously this is more focused on wire stripping, but I'd seen people use these in the past, and I thought, well, that's pretty cool. And then I saw this one pop up in the search results and thought, yeah, might as well buy it. It's actually only like $18. I expected this sort of thing to be a little bit more money. Plus it's, you know, the IRWIN VISE-GRIP brand, which is actually supposed to be pretty good. And then the last thing, this is also something I was kind of inspired to buy recently because I was having some issues with some other test gear, which might give you a hint as to what this is. So this also deserves its own separate video. But pull this out of here. This is a Uni-T clamp meter. So this thing, I was impressed. It's only about 30 bucks. And the reason why I bought this is that it actually has the ability to measure DC current with the clamp. Not only can it measure DC current, but it can measure DC current down to the milliamp with that clamp. And the reason why I kind of got inspired to buy this because I was getting pretty frustrated recently trying to track down a parasitic draw on a vehicle with the current amp clamp, no pun intended. But anyway, the current one that I have, because it only reads down to the 10th of an amp. It measures DC amperage, of course, but it only measures down to the 10th of an amp. And it also, you barely turn it just a little bit, and all of a sudden you've gone from reading 0 amps to reading 2 amps. So it was really, really annoying, and it would just drift all over the place. But anyway, that's that. Let's move on to some stuff that I already took out of the package because I didn't really think to make a video. But anyway, these guys are 20 pieces of these little double pull, double throw switches. They're not double pull, double throw. It's a double pull, single throw. Yeah, whatever. Anyhow, I'll correct myself if I'm wrong in the video editing. These are the type of switches I like. I love using these switches. The problem with them is when you try to solder these things, you got to be ridiculously fast with it, otherwise the pins melt out. But these are pretty cheap. I forget what the actual cost of these are. Probably, I don't know, less than $5 probably. Anyway, 20 of those. All right, so this is a new tip for my Weller Portasol soldering iron. So this one, real wide. I think this is the 4.8 millimeter one. Yeah, 4.8 millimeter. And mostly, this is, if you don't know, the Weller Portasol is a butane soldering iron. Quite a nice butane soldering iron actually, but I usually use this for soldering relatively thick wire, so I'm going to get a bit of a bigger tip for it than the one that it came with, so that's that. This is an empty bag. Alright, this guy. This will be some future videos for sure. This is one of the ESP8266 type boards. I think this is the WeMOS D1 Mini or something along those lines. Anyway, that is going to be, because these things are so cheap, less than $10 for a Wi-Fi enabled microcontroller basically. Quite cool that you can get that. Anyway, next, these aren't too interesting. It's just 6 DC to DC buck converters. I use these quite a bit and I got them for cheap, so I decided to go ahead and pick some more up because I was actually kind of running low on these. 6 of them was only like $8 or something like that, which, you know, these like LM7805s or whatever, pretty nice to have around, but they only supply about an amp of current. They're not very efficient and they probably cost about 50 cents a piece something. They're not really as cheap as you'd expect them to be. Anyway, moving on, we have a roll of solder. Again, not terribly interesting. This is one of the cheaper rolls of lead-free 1mm solder that I could find, about $30 still, actually. But the reason why I bought this, I needed some thicker stuff. The solder that I usually use for a lot of the projects is this, which is real high-quality AIM solder, recognizable name brand, made in Canada. Again, lead-free, but this is only 0.5 millimeter, or what, 20 thousandths of an inch. This stuff would be 40 thousandths of an inch or 1 millimeter, and that is just better for soldering thicker connections, thicker wires. With the 0.5 millimeter stuff, it just takes forever to solder anything that's reasonably thick. So anyway, hopefully this is reasonably quality stuff. It actually says, what is it, the best quality solder. I'm questioning that, but we'll see. Shouldn't be too bad. Alright, what else? Alright, so we're down to the last couple things. I got this case for my Galaxy S7 Edge. Actually a fairly nice case here. I don't know, whatever. And also these rather terrible screen protectors for the same phone. If you see that brand name of screen protectors, I'd probably stay away from it because you notice this big bubble here. It actually, this came with 3 of them and it was $10 or something like that. And now we're going on a rant about screen protectors, but whatever, it'll be okay. And the first thing I noticed when I opened the package is the cleaning wipe things, the wet wipes are torn open. 2 out of 3 of them were torn open. And when I picked up the screen protector at first, I was like, oh well, that's actually going to work really well because they formed the plastic of the screen protector to go around the curve. I was wrong. I was completely wrong about that, actually. And these things, they really don't, they just don't stick. They're cut really well. They fit on the phone perfectly. But even before you get the case on your phone, they will not stick down. This is actually the second one already. The first one I put on, I just completely failed, basically. So, quite a disappointment in that. But anyway, that is, well, I might actually not edit this video until I get some more stuff. We'll see. I've only got like one more thing coming. The only other thing that I have coming is another BMS board. So I think this is going to wrap up this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that, gives you some idea of some of the upcoming projects. So see you next time, guys. Bye.